I'm sitting here today under Nevada Falls in Yosemite National Park, and we're talking about universal law and the universal laws of nature and how these divine universal laws apply into our lives and into our health. And the greatest example you can have is we can look around and you can see the granite rocks, you can see the flow of the waterfall. Nothing in nature is going to be stopped. As humans, we sometimes take pride in the fact that we're able to dam up the river, we're able to carve the stone, but everything inevitably just continues through natural laws, whether that's water, wind, air, erosion. Everything just continues in a constant flow. And the biggest reason I can say that is that nature doesn't subordinate. Nature is not sitting there subordinating and worried about what's going to be going on as far as anything. It just continues to adapt. Water's purpose is to flow. It's going to flow downhill. It's going to take out the rocks as it goes because the laws of erosion are sitting in there, and nothing's truly going to stop it. Now, within our lives and within our health, where those universal laws are constant and continuous. Remember, you're built entirely of cells, and cells have a certain nature they run by, and we're a part of nature. And when you get symptoms, symptoms are feedback, and the feedback is to tell you that somewhere you're out of balance, you're out of alignment with that nature. And so in chiropractic, for example, our goal is to bring you back to balance, back into alignment with nature. Dr. Palmer even always said that chiropractic is the science of life and the science of nature and of natural things, because our greatest concern is to try to bring you back to balance, to get you into alignment. We're not trying to cure you, we're not trying to eliminate anything, we're trying to bring you back to a state, both mentally and physically, where you can sit and you can see that this is stopping you, here's how you adapt, here's how you got to let it be. It's also there to teach you that you can't stop it. The best example I can give you is I've had an elbow injury recently, and going against nature, because we're always trying to get on, I tried to do stuff to speed it up. I tried to do things to get it down, and some people's first thought is, you know, I got to go in, I got to get it drained, or I got to do something for it. However, I found that trying to speed it up set me back. Where I was making great progress, I added an extra week to the healing time because I didn't want to allow the nature to do what it did. And we're all susceptible to this. That's just part of being human. And so what I found is if I just let it be, the body knows how to take care of itself. I make sure that I'm adjusted. I make sure there's no interference to normal healing. And it seems to be progressing the way it is. And that's listening and loving the universal laws of nature inherent in my body, letting my cell structure go. Those are different things. Remember, every time you get a symptom, it's some type of feedback to get you to pay attention to what you're doing. Now, how do we even use that same principle in life? Well, say you've got something in life, whether it's a coworker, a friend, somebody in life, maybe a financial issue, and you feel that everything's stressed and it's not going your way. People are talking about a recession. It stresses people out. And so at the same time, those are symptoms, and those symptoms are there to give you feedback, and you can stop and think about it, and instead of seeing how it stresses you out, see how, instead of it being an obstacle, what is it trying to teach you about how perhaps you need to adapt? Rather than getting stuck damming yourself into the wall, the water's not going to stop there, it's going to go around the wall. And so you only need to figure that out. That's listening to universal laws. That's being taught by the rocks, by the nature, and you'll see this inherent everywhere. If you go into your cities, we're going to see grass that's just going to break its way through the concrete. We're going to see trees growing in the sidewalks. We're going to see rivers going places they want to, especially when it rains, because that's just the nature of what water and all that's going to do. We can try to think we're going to contain it, but we're only controlling it for a short time. Same with our lives. Instead of worrying about containing it and staying on the rigid path, look and see where that rigidity is getting us into trouble and how we can flow and adapt to it, just the same as the nature around us. And those are the different things. That's the universal law we can pay attention to today. Thank you.